Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some stocks on the move today. I'm Nathan Hager, and here with your Nvidia update. Here's Bloomberg's Kriti Gupta. Good morning, Kriti.
Good morning, Nathan. Those shares are down about 1.7%. NVDA is your ticker. It's kind of been hovering around that level, I would say, throughout the pre-market session, trading about $178 and change. Now, this is important because we were really expecting Nvidia to be a major miss or a major hit, something a little bit more momentous than less than 2% move in the pre-market. At least that's what I was bracing for. Mm-hmm. We haven't really seen that. These earnings, they haven't been the A+++ earnings that we have been so used to, but you're also not seeing the market punish them in a big way. The earnings coming out to basically be kind of in line with expectations. They certainly beat. They had 56% sales growth in the last quarter. That's a pretty juicy number in itself. Where you are seeing a little bit of the deterioration is, of course, the China question leading over the whole company and where the H20 debate moves forward. Both Jensen, Huang, and the CFO talking about the uncertainty around that, but also the idea that you may actually see a little bit of the question around the diversification, the hyperscalers, and also just the fact that the data revenue piece of their business has actually data center revenue, is coming down just a little bit. But again, 56%, I think, is the number you want to take away here. That's the number that the sales rose by, and shares are down under 2% this morning, NVDA. That being said, we were so prepared for Nvidia, we completely forgot about Crowdstrike, or at least I did. And that's where I would say more of the price action is this morning. CRWD is your ticker, down about 3.7% in the pre-market this morning, trading at $407 a share. Now, we'll remember Crowdstrike for a variety of things, but most recently, in the shadow that's hanging over this company is the outage from last year. Well, it turns out it's still a big drag when it comes to their subscription base and the revenue that they are getting from that. However, they did raise their full-year earnings outlook despite that third-quarter revenue guidance coming in below estimate. So they're saying that this is a temporary blip. There is better coming down the road. It did not convince Wall Street, though. You are seeing a couple of price target cuts over at Piper Sandler, over at Bernstein as well. So certainly Wall Street is not happy, and that's being reflected in the shares this morning. And Nathan, I'm going to end with one more tech stock if I can.
Okay.
And that is HP Inc. HPQ is the ticker, trading at about $26 and change, down about 1.5%. Now, this one's a different story. It's a tech story. It met their earnings. Their profit forecast looks decent, but it's the fact that they are worried about the tariff hit. They're worried about the geopolitics eating into their bottom line. And that's where you're starting to see the street get a little bit nervous when it comes to this stock, especially when it comes to the personal computer business here as well. So HPQ is the ticker. Do not confuse this with HPE, which is Hewlett-Packard Enterprises. That is a different stock. But HPQ is seeing a little bit of movement this morning.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.